Good morning, everyone. My name is Grizzly, and for those of you that don't know, I am a huge and avid milsim and tactical shooter game player. And this is a game that I've been following for quite some time since its initial announcement. I think it was about 5 years ago. And if you've been living under a rock, this is probably, I think it's the number two or number three most wishlisted game on Steam. And yesterday, everything came to a head. So the whole point of the stream is for me to hopefully strongly persuade you not to support these scummy devs and this absolutely steaming pile of refuse. So let's go ahead and get started. Right now, I'm actually sitting in their Discord and just looking through the chat. It is Damage Control 101. The biggest issue, of course, right now is people can't get into the servers. The game was marketed as an MMO survival shooter. Instead, we have 32 player lobbies, and it's an extraction shooter. The zombie survival mode, I guess, let me correct myself. The zombies in the game themselves are nothing more than bullet sponges. Headshots don't do anything lethal. The map size is incredibly small. The game is extremely unoptimized, even on hardware such as mine, like a Ryzen 5900X and RTX 4080. Hitching, FPS drops, lag, it's fucking bad. It's so bad that people started roasting the devs and the moderators on the Discord earlier yesterday, literally posting comparison videos of what was shown in regards to what is actually you can play. And you know, I remember the Division 2. Actually, the first Division came out. They did a vertical slice of the game. It looked absolutely gorgeous. The Snowdrop engine looked phenomenal. But when the final game came out, obviously things were downgraded. This is you telling, hey, you're buying a car and it's going to come with this motor and this features, except then you get a bare frame with no tires and no motor. But all that stuff will come at a later time, is what they're promising. So the devs have basically went into the Discord and they have instituted a half-hour chat rule. So you can't even reply to people. They've took away all the emojis and gifs and replies. And about a month ago, when I joined the official Discord, I brought up basically three questions. But the number one question was how many, if you're marketing this game as an MMO, how many people are you going to have per server or instance? Fucking crickets. And the number one response was, hey, just buy it in early access. Once you buy it, early access comes out, you guys know. No. If you're not even going to have a beta or even a limited beta, and the only beta that they actually had was an internal one. Yeah, so let that sink in. This game has been canceled and delayed. I'm sorry, not canceled, but delayed 4 times, if I'm not mistaken. And the fact that they've released it in this such horrible, unplayable state is fucking beyond me. This seems more than anything like a cash grab and an asset flip. And what's most disheartening to me is the fact that there's other small studios that are really trying to break out. They have an excellent idea, they have a great game, but shit like this is what turns people off like me from ever supporting stuff like this. It's abhorrent and it's ridiculous. Like I don't even know how people can even try to defend this game. There's actually an article in Forbes that came out this morning, and they are fucking dragging these developers harder than a Christmas tree, and rightfully so. I mean, 5 years, and you come out with an Unreal Engine asset flip and nothing more. And on top of that, it doesn't even work. So I you know what? Let's just read. I'm just gonna read through their chat right now. I want to see the kind of stuff that people are actually dealing with and bringing stuff up. Let me scroll through some of these responses in here, and what the number one thing is that the moderators and the developers keep saying, we're going to patch this, we're going to fix this. I'm going to tell you that right now. You're going to have to completely redo the fucking game. It's not going to happen. The game has overwhelmingly negative reviews. I think only, yeah, it's like 15% on Steam. It's just straight up dumpster fire. Like, I don't get it. Why wouldn't you just go ahead and delay the game? Why would you lie to the community? It's so stupid. Like people aren't going to find out, they're not going to play the game. So let me let me scroll up and actually see some of the developers and what they've actually said. So one of the biggest issues right now is there's a huge problem with item duplication. So people figure out a bug where you can basically make infinite duplicates of various items within the game. And so the idea is they're going to do a wipe, part of the new patch, and it will come out today. Please stay tuned, is their response. It's like they're expecting people to be their own QA team, you, the player, for you to find the bugs and everything else. But it's just mind blowing that it was released in such a fucking terrible state. There's no melee combat in this game. You can't step over small objects. You literally have to jump over everything. People are already cheating and hacking within the game. It's it's just like a fucking shit show. So let's see what other stuff that have they said. Especially the defenders of the game. There's so one of the things I saw here was games are in early access doesn't mean they're fully complete. Understandable. They are completed, but for you to enjoy it. But the day before doesn't understand how early access works. The game is literally dead. There are no zombies on the road, random glitches. You all need to shut the fuck up. Who's saying the game is in early access? Stop acting like a child. Outlast Trial still in early access, and from the first day, their content is enjoyable. So I think the idea is the devs will try to patch all these issues. And let me even back up a little bit more. Every single game that these developers have made, if you go on Steam and actually look them up, Fantastic is a developer. So if you pull up Steam, go on the day before, click on the developer's name, almost every single game they've released has been abandoned. Every fucking single one. And to me, this is nothing more than a fucking cash grab. I think it's fucking ridiculous that Steam even allows shit like this to be in early access. Like, for me, early access would be like when Squad came out, it was early access. I fucking love playing Squad. It's one of my favorite games. It had bugs, it had issues, it had performance optimization problems, just a litany of problems. But the developers listened and they were upfront about things. Like, hey, here's an update. It'll probably break this shit. It'll fix this stuff. We're still working on optimization. They were transparent about the whole process. This literally leading, when I first joined the Discord server on the 8th of November, I asked them, I said, hey, how many players are there going to be there? When you say early access, does this mean we can get the game now and then come out December 7th? We'll have access to the full game. And they were super mum on it. They wouldn't say anything. They wouldn't tell you the player count. They wouldn't tell us if there was voice chat in an MMO. I mean, it's fucking 2023, people. 2023, and you're telling me that you can't have fucking voice chat in the game that you made? So you have to rely on, Discord or TeamSpeak, whatever the fuck else you want to use. Fine, but it's like these dumb little things that they did or they didn't even bother bringing up is what makes me upset. Now, $40, that's fine. I can part with that money. And you have the 2-hour refund policy with Steam. And sometimes you can go over it. But the fact that it's literally taking people just 2 hours just to get into the game, or they'll launch the game one time and then it crashes and that's it. There's no workaround. There's no explanation. It's like nothing. It's like, here is this product and you're just gonna fucking give us money for it and then you're gonna test it. Whether it works or not, we really don't care, but as long as we have your money. So there's a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth, as I would say, on the Discord. And I mean, hell, you could just see it for yourself. One thing, another excellent, I guess not even an excellent choice, it's, I don't understand why they didn't just wait. Like, we all remember how Cyberpunk came out. Absolute utter shit show. Everything was fucking broken. It ran like a slideshow on the consoles. And finally, over 2 years later, it's at a playable state where you can actually enjoy it. This I don't think that it's ever going to be a playable state for this game. It's so broken. I don't know what to say. In fact, I'm just gonna post the Forbes article here in the chat so you guys can take a look and see for yourself. They do a really good job of basically going down the article and explaining why it is dumpster fire. In fact, I'll just pull it up. I'll do some reading for you all. Here we go. Cue dramatic voice. Since the absurd saga of Abandoned, the vaporware game that somehow landed its own PlayStation feature before it was even revealed, it was nothing but air. Similar concerns have been raised about this game the day before. The game promised a sprawling survival MMO in the vein of The Division from a very small team, and its trailer suggested some sort of epic release years in the making. Yeah, these assholes actually took out a billboard in fucking Times Square to run ads for this game. And if you go right now on YouTube and you actually try to pull up videos of the game itself and see, so you can kind of compare and contrast, you know, people playing it on Twitch versus what's on YouTube, they removed all the videos last night. And when and when you ask them in Discord, hey, why are the videos gone? Oh, we had a copyright infringement claim filed against us, so we had to take them down. Okay. Anyhow, back to the article. But many began to suspect that, like Abandoned, it would turn out to be some sort of grift. While it turns out the day before is a real game, technically, it did in fact release yesterday, hitting Steam for $40, and 500,000 people were watching streams of it, which included huge name creators giving it a shot. The day before, however, has immediately plunged headfirst into contention with the worst game of 2023, squeezing in at just the last minute here. While it is a game that exists, it is not even remotely like people would say what should be. With even the overall genre changing, players believe they were just straight up lied to. Yeah, we have. And that's the problem, is this is becoming the norm in the industry. It's one thing to say, hey, these features may or may not be in the game, but it's a completely other thing to say, this game will be MMO, it's survival based, you will be able to play with your friends, you'll have a safe zone. No, here is your tiny ass map with full of bugs, and your 32-player lobbies. By the way, no fucking VoIP. Optimization is ass. Go fuck yourself. And so yeah, people are rightfully very much upset about these things. Back to the article. So the core concept of the day before was that it was meant to be an MMO survival game. Instead, it's not that at all. It's an entirely different game, an extraction shooter, where you kill things, get loot, and extract to safe zones. It is not a survival MMO in the least, unless you count MMO as its multiplayer. And that's what the devs are defending. They're saying that 32-player instances that's your MMO. Okay. Oh, fuck, I need a sip of my coffee. Hold on. Back to the article. Then there's what the game actually looks and plays like. Infinitely worse and a smaller scale than any of its past, far more polished trailers suggested. It looks terrible. It's almost an entirely empty cityscape where you are lucky if you run into more than a few zombies at a time. Also, it's a zombie game without melee combat. Think about it. A zombie game without melee combat. What are you going to do when you run out of bullets? I guess you just have to run away from the zombies or just die and get eaten. And the author goes on to say, I've been dying watching clips from the game, which includes some of the goofiest bugs I've ever seen. Yeah, there was one that I saw on a stream yesterday where this poor lad literally created a character, spawned in, and as soon as they spawned in, they just fucking fell right through the world floor and just kept fucking going. And when they restarted the game, they were just greeted with a fucking solid black screen. Nothing. Like literally nothing worked. And that's after waiting 2 hours to get into a server to actually be able to create a character. And this person, last time I checked, they were still having issues refunding the game. So just, I want you to keep that in mind when we're going and talking about this. And the article basically ends on, no one is reacting kindly to this. Exactly, as people should. And to be honest, vote with your wallets, vote with your Steam reviews. There's a difference between when you have a studio, a publisher that pushes the developers to release a game. It's like, nope, we don't give a fuck what state is in. You have to release it. And then the hatred is driven towards the developers. You know, why the hell did you guys release such a half-assed product? This is not the problem here. I am perfectly fine waiting. I am perfectly content with the game being delayed. You know, back way back in the day when John Carmack was working on Doom 3 and the game kept getting delayed and there was not a whole lot of news and information on it. And he said the best quote, and is my favorite quote. They said, "When is Doom going to be done?" And he just looked at the guy and said, "It will be done when it's done." Boom, that's it. But this is, you're stringing people along, you're showing these vertical slices of gameplay that are not even realistic, and then selling this basically vaporware of a game. So yeah, people are not going to react very positively to it. So the article ends on, streamers are positively roasting the game and will not play once the terribleness of it stops being funny. Steam reviews have immediately nosedive into overwhelmingly negative for a game that would dare charge $40 for this mess. So no, The Day Before was not a scam in the sense that it did not exist, but it is a scam in the sense that it did not remotely deliver anything it said it would, and did so in such an unpolished, packaged manner it's almost unplayable and worth booting up for the memes. Another cautionary tale. So there you have it. That was the Forbes article on there. So I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the Steam page for it. Let's take a look. And let's dive into some of the lovely reviews that we've seen here. And I'm going to look just kind of at the most helpful one. And for those of you that are joining the stream, I really do appreciate you guys watching. Please do not get this game. Please don't empower these developers to just take money and fucking split. This is utter trash. I'm gonna just do a couple of quick Steam reads. I have to do some other stuff around the house. I am hoping to do some more streaming discussion about this game. That's just, I'm not feeling too well today, feeling a little bit under the weather, but just kind of laying in bed and looking at the Discord chat for it in the middle of the night, and it's a dumpster fire. So I'm going to read a couple of these Steam reviews and the stream, and just hopefully you'll make up your own mind. And with that being said, please don't get the game. All right, here we go. First Steam review is, this is not an open world MMO. This is a small area extraction shooter. The devs deleted all the old videos showing the open world elements. Yes, they did. Go on YouTube, try to find them. They might be copies of the streams that they've made, but the actual YouTube channel from the developers, they went in and they cleaned house everything last night. The city is dead and there are barely any open buildings. There are no survival elements in the game because it is based on being an extraction-based shooter game, like Tarkov. Shame, the game could have been the next DayZ. I would not recommend buying this game. Most of the city isn't open anyways. Next review is, this game is a scam. No open world survival elements, it's just an extraction shooter and a bad one at that. Combat is terrible. I went into a raid and fought a player. It was laggy and completely unsatisfying. The zombies are dumb as bricks. Stand in a car if you are invincible. Stand in a car and you are invincible. Actually watched them like survive a couple of zombies just climbing onto the car. It's a shit show. And the last bullet they bring up is, there is no reason to even progress in the game from what I can tell. It lacks the hook of the other games in the genre, like Tarkov. There's no satisfying differences with gun customization. Every gun feels the same. Loot seems pretty easy to get to. For instance, I found 2 military guns within 5 minutes. Everything is slow. Looting is slow. The intro is purposely slow. It feels like they're trying to make you waste as much time as possible so you don't hit the 2-hour refund. And that is the other thing, is a lot of the internet neckbeards came out to the Discord to defend the game, saying, well, you know, you have the 2-hour policy, you know, why don't you just refund the game? Well, when it takes 2 hours just to get into the server, let alone launch the game, you can kind of see where the issue is beginning. So the last one I'm going to read is, I'll read a couple of short ones because they're kind of funny. Turns out it's a real game. Kind of wish it wasn't. That's one of the other negative reviews. No vaulting, can't get over small obstacles, you have to jump over them. No directional audio, no melee combat, can't climb ladders. Zombie tanks 5 shots before they die, no headshots on the zombies. They promised an open world, massive multiplayer survival game. We got an extraction looter shooter game. You can't enter 90% of the buildings on the map. So, it's a shit show. And the thing that makes me really sad is I was really hyped about this game. I was really hyped about it. It's I love playing The Division. I still play it to this day. And when I first saw it, I was like, man, this looks just like The Division in New York. But zombies, it's gonna be so great. There's gonna be vehicles. You're gonna have your own little area where you and the guys can hang out, chill. You can go on missions, raids, team play, all this cool stuff. And no, fuck you. And here's this extraction shooter. We absolutely lied to you. So the biggest disconnect is between the community and the developers, because developers feel like, oh well, we'll just patch this and we'll fix all these glaring issues tomorrow with the latest update. You're not going to fix this fucking Unreal Engine asset store asset flip. Like, to me, this is what it is. And for me, $40, I can manage. Not a big deal. I'll get my refund. But for those people that don't have the luxury of spending that money, especially if you live outside the United States and how Steam has recently implemented their pricing in various regions, it can be a lot of money. And people are being left high and dry. So please don't buy this game. And if you do, I sincerely hope you're ready for a refund. And, well, and if not, then if you find enjoyment in this game, more power to you. But I literally cannot recommend this. And I was really looking forward to this to play it over the weekend with my friends. So we'll just have to figure out something else. Anyways, that is my rant. That is my rant about the day before. I appreciate you all watching. If you want some good memes and a good hearty laugh, join their Discord server. The link is in their Steam page. And if you really want to see what damage control looks like in 2023 when you release a vaporware product, that is the place to look. So thanks again for watching. Take care, and I will talk to you all later.